A very good evening and welcome all of you to this second lecture of Indian Polity under Titan 4.0 2026. I, Jatin Verma, will today be taking you through these interesting topics of our class. Doctrines. What are the doctrines in the Indian polity? Then written and unwritten constitution. What is the difference between the two? So those things we are going to cover. I will be keeping a tab on your comments in the comment section. Whatever your doubt is, please put it there. We will take the first doubt session after 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes of the class. Then next doubt session will be taken after 1 hour 15 minutes. Okay. So I'll proceed according to my rhythm, according to my pace. But I assure you that all your doubts, whatever they are, will be addressed before the class ends. Okay, we will give last 10-15 minutes to your doubts only. All right, today we will complete the class in complete 2 hours. We will not stretch it beyond 2 hours. So rest assured, by 1 hour 50 minutes, I will be entertaining all your doubts. Now, a quick recap of yesterday's session. What all did we do in the yesterday's session? In the yesterday's class, sorry. In the yesterday's class, we had a brief idea about introduction, how the Indian polity works, all right, how the union level, then state level, they operate in their respective domains, all right. So for my YouTube students also, this class is purely in English only. You can, for Hindi medium, you can watch the Hindi medium classes available on other channels. All right, my mandate has been to teach in English, so here we are going to talk only in English. Then union level, then state level, we saw these things. Okay, then why do we have constitution? We briefly had a discussion on this aspect. Why do we need a constitution? We the people, the sovereign, we have given ourselves this constitution. This is the discussion we had. Then in the last leg, I told you about this prime minister being the real head. Prime minister is the real head in the country. President is the nominal head. We had a discussion on this also. This is the recapitulation. Then last leg, we saw this concentric circle diagram, and through the medium of which I told you how the coalition government is formed, how the Indian polity actually operates. A brief glimpse of misuse of CBI, the agencies, right? Now today, first of all, we will complete this interface between Indian polity and the various institutions of Indian polity, and then, I'm so sorry. And then we will have a discussion on this thing. Just a minute. And then we will have the further discussion on doctrines and other things. Okay. Okay, so these things are there. Now, this is the agenda for our class today. Introduction to Indian polity, doctrines, written and unwritten constitution, the three organs of the state, presidential system versus prime ministerial system, UPSC syllabus, topic wise discussion we will have, and then we will see some PYQs also if the time so permits. Okay, why am I not showing you the PYQs right away? Because you should first understand what are we going to study, what is the syllabus, then it is better to understand the syllabus and the PYQs around it. Okay. Now, this much we have already seen, okay, that we the people of India have given ourselves this constitution so that we can govern ourselves in a predictable manner, so that there is rule of law. First principle of having rule of law is to have the predictability. If the government is non-predictable, then there is no point. All right. If the government is we cannot predict the government, then there is no point in having the talking about rule of law and other things. All right. So that is why, first thing first, we should have predictability. We have a written constitution. Why do we have a written constitution? We've had a discussion on that. All right. Now, a group of related articles together form a single constitution. I told you the hanger part, if you remember, that this is how the article, each of the article hinges in the constitution. Every article of the constitution has its genesis in the Constitution of India. On these articles, we make laws, and on those laws, we have rules which are like buttons in a shirt, okay, which are like the actual size of the shirt, the apple cut or anything that we have, the designer wear, everything, the alteration you can get done to adapt the law to the ground realities. We have studied this much, okay. But the problem that happens is, the yesterday we could not, due to paucity of time, we could not touch upon a few parts. What are those parts? We are going to have them, see them today here. Okay, sorry. Anyways, I'll teach it here only by opening this white slide or green background. Here we are. Now, see, three things we did not discuss. What is, I want to give you a fair view of what are fundamental rights. Okay, fundamental rights, what are they? What are directive principles? So that your curiosity which might arise in between the class should which should be addressed beforehand. And then this is the regulatory bodies. The long line here, the full line here tells you that this is a different topic. Regulatory bodies. Okay, regulatory watchdogs, you can call them. As the name tells you, watchdogs means somebody who's watching you constantly. Okay, watchdogs or regulatory bodies. These are like CBI, or you can talk about UPSC. Okay, independent or autonomous bodies. Autonomous, they work relatively autonomously. Okay, autonomous bodies. UPSC, Election Commission of India. Okay, then other constitutional bodies like State Public Service Commission, then your Finance Commission. Then there are similar bodies, but they are non-constitutional. These are of two types: A, constitutional bodies, for which there is a dedicated article in the Constitution. Why are they created? I'm going to tell you that also. Good evening, everyone. Vaishnavi, Akshay, and everybody, right? So, constitutional. B is non-constitutional. Non-constitutional bodies are like CBI, Central Vigilance Commission. Due to space constraint, I'm writing them in the horizontal manner, okay? But they are as separate as the above ones. They are non-constitutional. That means there is no separate provision mentioned for them in the Constitution. So this is the first topic that we are dealing. You can make an index for yourself. While we are studying the topics, you can write on your notebook what is a constitutional body, what is a non-constitutional body. Backend team, I request you to please resolve the technical queries, technical glitches. I'm attending lecture with the laptop itself. Mahi is able to attend while Tanushri is not able to. I have missed by 3 minutes. Okay, I am also late by 2-3 minutes thanks to the technical issue that happened. Okay, so these three things we are going to discuss. Fundamental rights are incorporated in the Constitution of India. Why? Because when we were giving the entire authority to the governors, to the ones who are going to govern us, PM, CM, IAS officers, okay, what is left with us? We are barehanded, we are empty-handed. All our authority is with the people who are going to govern us, isn't it? If they start exploiting us, like the example I gave you in the yesterday's class, if they start threatening us with the power of gun, police power, with the power of red beacon, or with the power of government of XYZ state tag on their vehicle, if they say that you need to give us your biometric details in order for you to get free electricity, free ration, anything. Okay. Right. So are you with me, everyone? How many of you are watching it live? Quickly, a quick present will be typing P will be in place right now. Quickly type P or present quickly. so that I can get to know how many of you are regular and how many of you are new or attending the class for the first time. Okay, 2 P's have come, 3, 4. All right, that's like a huge number. Okay, fine. Cool. Let's proceed. Are you with me, everybody? A simple yes or something. Clicking on the yes gives me the confidence to move further. So remain active. Don't sleep over. You can have your cup of tea. I'm taking my cup of tea besides. Okay. Yes. All right. Now, that is why we enacted fundamental rights and we incorporated them in the most rigid part, one of the most rigid sections of our constitution, that is part 3. Okay, as I told you yesterday, that constitution is divided into parts. Within those parts there are articles. Within those articles there are schedules or schedules. In fanciful English we call them schedules. Okay, so this is the difference. Now, fundamental rights are bare minimum guarantees for the citizens. Bare minimum guarantees that are there with us. Okay. Apart from part 3, outside part 3, but within the constitution, there are other guarantees. Okay. This is slide number 2. This is slide number 1 for your convenience. I will share the PPT with annotations on the Telegram channel that is dedicated for me by the PW team. Okay. Now see, outside part 3 within the constitution, but within the COI, Constitution of India, most important part is part 3, as I said, fundamental rights. Even outside part 3, in other parts of the constitution, there are some other rights. But you keep on drawing. Okay, I'm a very moody person. I may not share the PPTs. So you will then struggle. Some other other rights that are given outside the part 3. What is the difference between rights that are given? Comment section is in the PW app, but Sanjeev, I'm equally monitoring the comments on YouTube also. Okay, so this is a demo class. 3 demo classes will be uploaded on YouTube for your demonstration thing, so that you can get to see how the study actually happens on PW app and PW website. Now, what is the difference between the rights that are given in part 3? These, for the violation of these rights, for the violation of rights given in part 3, violation of rights given in part 3, we can go to directly to the highest court of land, the Supreme Court, or below Supreme Court we can go to High Court. Okay, but for the violation of other rights, this should be green for signifying to you, we can directly go to this level. Okay, but for violation of other rights which are not fundamental, we cannot go to the Supreme Court or High Court. Okay, we can still go to the High Court. Okay, so I'm using this color red with green. What does red with green signify? Red also and green also. High Court can still entertain the violation of legal rights, constitutional rights, and fundamental rights. Okay, so these are in the order. The most important ones are this, then third one is this. Legal rights. What are legal rights? What is a statutory body? What are statutory rights? Legal rights and statutory rights mean one and the same thing. Okay, Rajanandani Sahu, first slide again. We have talked about fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are, if someone is late, the problem with online, in my offline classes, no, when I used to take offline classes, if anybody would come late, what we used to do him is we would make him stand outside. We won't let him go. I'll tell my staff that don't let them go, make them sit there. Because we are studying fundamental rights, we should equally study and give equal importance to fundamental duties. Getting my point? So we will make them sit for 2 long hours until the class gets completed. So what happened? The number of students started turning up on time. Okay, that increased gradually, right? Fundamental rights are not absolute. We'll talk about them in the detailed discussion. Okay, now when we'll have threadbare discussion, I'm just giving you the overview of the whole of the constitution so that you can start reading the newspaper, and in a span of another 3 or 4 days within these classes itself, we will be incorporating the PPTs, screenshots of the Hindu newspaper and Indian Express newspaper, which are relevant for your purpose. If you are not aware, I'm doing the daily news analysis also, daily current affairs analysis on PW English YouTube channel, PW OnlyIAS English channel. So you can refer to my daily current affairs for your polity, for your political science or public administration optional also. Okay, or for GS preparation overall. Now, is this clear this much? Directive principles. Now, other fundamental rights, the other rights given in the other sections of the constitution, other parts of the constitution are also protected, but fundamental rights get the highest kind of protection. Those rights which are given in part 3 are called fundamental rights. Why these fundamental rights were given? As I said, once you elect the prime minister, once you elect the chief minister, can you call them back? Can you tell them that you are not governing the country in the right manner, you should resign? No. Government is elected for 5 years, and if the same government becomes tyrannical, becomes against us, or doesn't work, or starts becoming corrupt, starts filling up their own pockets, so what will happen? We will be at a loss, right? Yes, difference I'm coming there. Okay, so that is why the constitution makers, incorporated one chapter, one dedicated part for fundamental rights protection, and they gave them the status of justiciability. What do we mean by the fact that fundamental rights are justiciable? Justiciability means for their violation, you can go to Supreme Court, you can seek justice, you can seek remedy. You can seek constitutional remedies. Remedy means to remedy the situation, to restore the situation, to repair the situation, to address your grievances. I'll give you a good example. See, some of you are not able to log in. Okay, so is it the violation of your right to access the classes? Yes. Is it your right to access the classes? So you can reach out to the technical team. Okay, if some of you are able to log in, you are enjoying your right, right? There are only two types of rights. If some of you are not getting PPTs or PDFs, that is again a violation. Which violation is more important? You tell me. Yes, for the violation of your fundamental rights, you can directly go to Supreme Court. Satyavrat. Okay. Got my point? Did you get my point? Which one is more important? Not able to access class at all or not getting the PDF? Tell me. I will answer everything. Why, Tanya, why do you have to, all of you, it applies, why do you all have to go one step further? If I'm teaching fundamental rights, you will talk about what is DPSP. It's like I'm telling about character of Ram and you want to know Ravan directly. Not able to access, right? So can we say that not able to access the lecture at all is the violation of your fundamental right? Not getting the PDF is the violation of your constitutional right, or let's say legal right. Now, not getting the recorded class, is that more important, or not getting the live class, is that more important? So we can divide these rights between PW and you. Likewise, we have divided right to breathe, right to life, fundamental in nature. Go by the literal meaning, simple meaning of the term fundamental. What seems fundamental to you? something generic in nature, without which you cannot survive. Right to dignity, your respect, okay, you should have that at all times. Right to privacy, why the government should track you wherever you are going through your mobile phone. Okay, so this is how we have categorized rights in our polity, Indian polity, the country, on the basis of the nature of the fundamental, on the basis of the nature of the right. You can go to the Supreme Court, you can go to the High Court, or you can go to the district courts. Done? Clear? Legal right, likewise. The rights have been so divided. This way the rights have been divided, right? Now imagine, I'll be giving you these practical day-to-day life examples so that you get hold of things. Imagine there is Mr. India. You've seen Mr. India, Anil Kapoor movie, or you have heard of it at least, okay? Let's imagine there is one Mr. India, okay? He married a daughter of a father, okay? This is the father, the old aged person. The boy, when marrying the daughter, he said that I will keep your daughter happy. Father is asking, how much do you earn from this boy? Boy says, I am earning 10,000 rupees. Father says, I'm not going to give you my daughter because you won't be able to keep her happy. He says that I will give her all the things which are important. I will give her right to life. I will give her good food, right to food. Okay, I will give her shelter, right to shelter. Those things which are essential for survival, I will give her everything. Okay, those things which are essential for survival, the boy says he will be able to give, right? But those things which are aspirational in nature, for example, car, okay, those things which are not as essential, but as an aspirational couple, they would gradually have them. DPSPs, directive principles of state policy, are those things like air conditioner. Is it necessary to survive? Born in the era of climate change, you would say yes. But if you ask the generation of 1950s, who literally could clothe their bodies, could not, who could barely clothe their bodies, who could barely have 2 times meal a day. 1950s India, mere right to life, right to these basic rights, right to food, clothing and shelter was very, 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 very important. But not everybody had those kind of luxuries. Those were considered to be luxury. Having a color TV, black and white TV used to be a thing of rich people. So during that time, our constitution makers wrote two parts: essential part and luxury part. I cannot call them luxury in the literal sense, but I'm just trying to explain to you. So those things which can be postponed to a later date, okay, were kept in directive principles of state policy. Let me break up this word directive. There are two types of words: directive and guidelines. Directions. Father gives you directions. You have to do this. Brother, elder brother or younger brother or your friend gives you advice, guideline. Advice in simple language, guidelines mean advice. Directive means something of binding nature. Okay, I mean something of weight, something of force. So these are directive principles. What are principles? Something you observe at all times, right? These are my principles. I'm an honest person. I'm a punctual teacher. I will come always on time. These are my principles. I will make notes. I will explain through writing more than explaining through PPTs. These are my principles. Just about this class, I'm giving you simple examples. So, these are the principles which the state of India shall keep in mind while making the policy of the state at all the times. That is why the name Directive Principles of State Policy. Got it? Clear? These principles, they direct the state as to what principles to be observed while making the policy of the state for the betterment of the people in Simple words, my dear students. Very, very simple words, I'm telling you. How can I access the web to your group? I wish I could share the Telegram link with you if that is allowed. Let me just check. You are on PW video player, PW live. Okay, so I'll keep on posting something on the in the comment box also. From where did we adopt DPSPs? Irish constitution, various cannot be said to be from one constitution. Okay, so these factual things I will cover later. Okay, so these things are there. Now, anyways, my class is not showing, probably because I'm a teacher. Okay. So they don't show the class to the teacher when it is live. I mean, it's on the lighter note. Coming back here, you can visit the Telegram channel, Jatin Verma Sir, PW. Uh, Search it on the Telegram, you will get it. Okay. Since we know fundamental rights are known as Magna Carta, what does the Magna Carta mean? See, Magna Carta in literal sense does not mean fundamental rights. Okay. Magna Carta in simple terms is the order issued by the king. Okay. Magna Carta in simple language means order issued by the king. So, constitution is like the Magna Carta. Okay. It's not the fundamental rights. All right. So, king, the order in Hindi we call it as farman. Okay. Farman issued by the king, the royal order, that is called as Magna Carta, right? Magna Carta is like used for constitution. It establishes the principle that the king and his government were not above the law. This is the basic meaning of it. King and his kingdom, his ministers are also subject to the Magna Carta. So Magna Carta should be full of rule of law. That is the meaning of it. DPSPs are used to make policies, but policies are just guidelines. Yes, you can say that, Kirti. Okay. So you got it. For the later part, as we are growing as a country, 75 years, we are progressing. Earlier, we did not have National Food Security Act. Earlier, we did not have Manrega, right to guaranteed employment. Earlier, we did not have skill training for our population. Okay, skill training program. Earlier, we were not distributing solar power panels for electricity to everyone. Earlier, women travel was not free. Earlier, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao was not there. Okay, so my endeavor is to reply to everybody, but as I said, I will entertain the doubts after 1 hour. Expect you use political language rather than simple terminology. Simple terminology would be followed by the complex language. Don't worry. I will make you adopt that language, that lexicon, that vocabulary, that jargon that you require for your GS mains paper too. But understanding ABCD, we cannot directly start from Yugoslovakia. Okay. Y for Yankee is simple to understand initially. Then we will switch over to Yugoslovakia as well. Please bear with me, those of you who are at an advanced level. Please tolerate me, bear with me. I also sometimes have to generate these examples to take everybody along. Okay. Yes, you can go directly to the Supreme Court. Okay. So understood the basic difference. This is a basic class, so be taught in the basic manner only. I'm with everyone, but you have to be with me for at least first 3 or 4 classes. After that, Sushmita Patil, yes, what's your doubt? Rather than see, when you post your doubt, as the number of students are sometimes more, they are more curious, more comments, copy your doubt immediately. If in case it is unanswered in the first go, you can same copy paste the same comment again. Okay. So rather than getting irritated at me, understand I have to balance the two sides. Comments, taking everybody along, and taking the lecture also. All right, shall we proceed now? So first thing, this is what I explained today. This is taken care of, I assume. If anybody has any doubt, this is I've explained you. These are aspirational wishes that young India had. And as we are progressing in terms of GDP, income, we are giving up like a Mr. India, we are fulfilling more aspirations. Once upon a time, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana kind of a scheme, free houses scheme for everybody, was offering free houses to everyone in India. Imagining 80,000 crore rupees worth of budget for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program was a thing of a wish. It is today like a God wish. We wished something from the God, and that is happening in our country. Imagine what is happening in Pakistan. They are a failed country. Both the countries, they got birth at the same time, they got independence at the same time, and one country is giving Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, other country does not even have the food to eat. Got my point? See the directive principles in that light to understand them. Fundamental rights for mere survival of people, they were there. Right to equality, it was there, so that people are not discriminated on the basis of their color, on the basis of their caste. Akshay, what are you not understanding? Okay, so I'm giving you the legal examples also. Okay, now we'll go to the legal part. As you've understood the complex part, see, this is the diagram. Fundamental rights and directive principles, they have to operate in a machinery like manner. Okay, like a machine, they are not getting clogged. They are fitting one another. As the time is progressing, 75 years, 76 years, with $5 trillion economy, we would be a developed country. We would be able to provide everything that is given in the directive principles in the form of a right. Got it? All right. For first three classes, they are available on YouTube. See, why do you have to corroborate with the book? If book were enough, Akshay, you wouldn't have been here. Why are you here? Because books cannot explain you as a teacher can. Okay, M. Lakshmikant himself was a teacher once. Then he wrote the book for simplification. But everything is not given in the books because the requirement of UPSC is far exceeding what is given in the books. Okay, so don't corroborate, don't cross check, okay, this is given in the book or this is not. Lakshmikant is lying here. You won't find these things over there. What is required is the conceptual clarity. Why would you spend 6,000, 12,000, 14,000 or 20,000? I don't know what is the cost of this batch when you are getting 900 rupees ki M. Lakshmikant. Because M. Lakshmikant cannot be Saraswati Kant. You're getting my point? That is a Lakshmikant. Yes. So I'll teach in a formal way. See, these are fundamental rights. Everything is there in the formal way also. But first, the basic example will be there. Then, fundamental rights are like inner core of the earth. Inner core. Their violation is very tough. Their amendment is also very tough. Changing fundamental rights is not easy. Changing fundamental rights is not easy. Okay. Then we have second layer, yellow part, which are called constitutional rights. Okay. Constitutional rights are those rights that are given in the constitution. Constitutional rights are those rights which are given in the constitution, but they are not given in the part 3. Right? Constitutional rights are rights which are given in the constitution in various other parts of the constitution except part 3. Have you written this? Constitutional rights and legal rights are not a part of DPSP. They are outside the fundamental rights. That's it. They are a part of constitution only. Okay. They are a part of rights, but they are not necessarily within part 3. That's it. All those rights which are given outside fundamental rights topic, part 3, they are all non-fundamental rights. As you can see, all these are rights. Okay, only these are the fundamental rights which are given in the red part, this part. These are constitutional rights, these are legal rights. Am I clear now? In the inner circle, they are the most protected. In the middle circle, they are still protected. In the outer circle, they are not as protected. Now the question comes, protected from whom? Protected from amendment. Let me have the last nail. Constitution is sacrosanct. It is relatively permanent in nature. Even though it can be amended, it is blessed with sacrosanctity. It is the supreme legal document of the country. Okay, anything that is given in constitution cannot be amended that easily. Is there any mention of DPSPs? Yes, DPSPs are mentioned in part 4 of the constitution. Okay, so anything that is given in part 3 is even more sacrosanct. You understand that Lakshman Rekha, deity Sita was surrounded by Lakshman Rekha. Fundamental rights are surrounded by the similar type of Lakshman Rekha when it comes to their protection. I think I had it here. I've incorporated that. Just a minute. See this. Fundamental rights are surrounded by the legal protection given under Article 32. That is, Article 32 says that they can directly go to, citizens can directly go to the Supreme Court of the land, the highest court of the land, that is Supreme Court of India, for violation of fundamental rights. All right. This is a technical term, so I'm not explaining you this thing. Sacrosanct means rigid, something you are very particular about. Okay, your sacrosanctity means rigidity around something. The court would not tolerate the violation of fundamental rights. Simple meaning. Okay, Srivali, clear now? Let me explain you this way now. Another part of explanation comes now. See, fundamental rights can be changed. Changed means amended. They are amendable. Amendable means by the parliament. But with a lot of difficulty. But the procedure is very difficult. But difficult procedure. We require special majority, etc. Okay, fundamental rights. Legal constitutional rights, again, since they are given in the constitution, they also require amendment to the constitution. Amendment to encircled C in our classes would mean constitution. Okay, constitutional rights require amendment but are relatively easy to amend than fundamental rights. They are relatively easy to amend than the fundamental rights. Okay. PW books and my class notes are the same. Okay, I'm thankful to you for telling the same thing to other students. Yellow color is not visible. Okay, what color should I use? I'm using red, then red also. Okay, we are using green. Okay. Then comes the last, legal rights. Legal rights are enacted by the parliament and can be easily amended by the parliament. Can be easily amended. Okay, got now? That is why fundamental rights are called fundamental in nature. They are given in the core of the Constitution. This is Constitution of India. They are given at the heart of the Constitution, the very crux of the Constitution. Clear now? If anybody still has a doubt, please type D. D for Delhi. Anybody, feel free, don't worry, I will explain again. Sacrosanct Srivalli means rigid, element of rigidity. If your father says that your family is vegetarian, and if you eat non-vegetarian food, your father would get angry. You would attract the anger of your father. Similarly, if fundamental rights are violated, Supreme Court would not take it lightly. Okay. Okay. Legal rights, I'll tell you. Now we'll take it one level above. Constitution was enacted with a sense of permanence. This is what I was explaining you. Constitution has got an element of permanency because it is a written constitution, so it is going to last for centuries. This much is clear. That is why within the constitution, since we the people of India have surrendered everything to those who are going to govern us, the president, the prime minister, the ministers, the government, they are seeking even our Aadhaar card details, biometric details. If I ask you, my dear students, what is the most important details you have, privacy details? Iris scan. My iris scan cannot be changed. Iris imprint cannot be changed for my whole life. Okay, unless of course the person gets cataract as the eye disease. My thumbprints cannot be faked. These details are being sought by the government for what? These details are being sought by the government for giving me bloody 20 kg of ration. You understand? I am the sovereign, and the sovereign is being asked, the supreme power rests in the citizen, and citizens are being asked by the servants. Representatives of the people are servants. Servants are asking me to surrender my most basic details in order to get 20 kg ration. Getting my point? So, what is a state? I'll tell you. Now, you will all understand these things. Anyone who wanted me to use the vocabulary, analogies have to be there. Analogies are, what is this? Tap. Water is leaking from here. Tap tells the bucket or the receiver, the lady here, that lady, you are corrupt. That is why we are giving 100 liters of water, out of which corrupt IAS, someone who are corrupt ministers, some of them who are corrupt and have been caught in the past, okay, IPS, they are siphoning off the water. They are looting the water meant for us. Now this lady says only 30 liters is reaching to me. This lady said, since the problem is with the tap, the supply, lady is being said that you give us your biometric details. This tap was just to serve the water, and the plumbers, the ministers, everybody, they were the servants. Servants are telling the master, the lady, actually the citizen, that the problem is with you. You are corrupt. You are a thief. Can the citizens be said like this? Can you ask the citizens to give their thumb imprints? No Kejriwal, no Modi, hai na? Everybody is of the same color. I'm not casting any doubt on anybody. Anybody who's a bhakt over here, don't get offended, okay? Getting my point? We are the sovereign citizens. We have surrendered, SURRENDER, surrendered all our authority to these people. Now, these are the masters and we are the servants. If I hire a servant, Will he seek my biometric details, my ID proof, or will I seek his ID proof? Please answer. I'll seek, with due respect, I'll call him help only. If I have a help who helps me with my cup of tea, setting this right, so he will be the one I will be asking for his police verification. But this citizen is the master. Master is being asked that Mr. Master or Miss Master, since the system is corrupt, you give your Aadhaar card details so that there can be these leakages, this corruption could be plugged. Okay, got it? Getting my point? But what is happening? The system has been toppled upside down. System has been inverted. Citizen is the master who elects the ministers. I am a citizen, I pay tax. The few days back we saw the budget. Okay, as a master, I pay the tax to all these civil servants. IAS, Indian Administrative Servants. IPS, Indian Police Servants. But when you go to police station, why are you here? Sir, I have lost my mobile phone. So, have you lost your mobile phone or have you sold it? This is how they suspect you. You travel in the train, TT is looking at you as if you are a bloody tea seller and you don't have your ticket. Rather, he should treat you with the respect, right? Everywhere, the system has got converted upside down. It's as if you are looking at the clock and the digits are inverted. System has become like that, agree or not? Before the elections, Kejriwal is like this. After the elections, Kejriwal is committing some scam. Got it? So this is why we were given the fundamental rights. If there is corruption in the system, the citizen can go to the highest court of the land, that is Supreme Court. Got it? Before that, they are folding hands. After that, they are twisting your hands. That is why the fundamental rights were given. Okay. Now, fundamental rights have a sense of permanency to them because they are given in the written constitution. Okay. And that too within the part 3. Please understand that part 3 contains the most important rights, and most important rights, simply we call them as fundamental rights. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. That's it. If you ask me, then what is the difference between other rights? Well, our constitution makers are long dead. They labeled them as fundamental rights. I don't have any answer to that. You are, if digging the grave, bal ki khal, if you are, pulling that hair strand out, then I don't have an answer. But if you simply want to understand what is the difference, constitutional rights are less protected. That is it. Fundamental rights are the most protected. That's it. No, it's okay, Abdul. Everybody is like corrupt here. Okay. I am not saying Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi does not have a family. But yes, if something is happening right under your nose and you say that I am not able to see. Right. Anyways. Now, what are legal rights? See, Constitution versus Parliament. Let's write it this way, okay, for you to understand. Parliament, what is the difference? Constitution is for hundreds of years, right? Permanency. Parliament is for 5 years. This Neta, Prime Minister, whosoever, these MPs, they will change after 5 years, or they may not change, they but have to get re-elected. EVM, okay, EVM, they would have to get re-elected. Elections will happen every 5 years. So, can anything given in the constitution be compared to any law, any legal right enacted by the parliament? Legal right is enacted by the transient parliament. Transient means something which is there for some time. Parliament is for 5 years. Just a minute, okay? Parliament is just for Okay, Parliament is for 5 years. Just a minute. Why is this saying changes you made may not be saved? Am I visible and audible to everybody? Okay, so Parliament makes a right which is called legal right or statutory right. How to explain this? Let us see here. Fundamental rights, okay. Directive principles. Directive principles mention that state should take care of nutrition. State should ensure adequate nutrition. Number one, state should ensure education for children between 6 to 14 years. State should ensure the education of children between 6 to 14 years. This is given in our DPSP. Do you think India of 1950s could have given this 6 to 14 years of education? No, we did not have enough number of schools. We did not have enough number of teachers. Even today, we don't have enough number of teachers. So that is why this was postponed. And since this is given in the constitution, blue color constitution, we are writing here, both these things are given in the constitution. Okay. Let us use orange color now. This is our parliament, new or old, okay, Parliament Vista or whatever you want to call it. Now, Parliament of year 2002, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, okay, Atal government decided to enact, Atal government decided to enact a constitutional amendment. They wanted to change the constitution for the better reason. What did they do? They enacted, when an amendment is to be brought about, it has to be by special majority. Okay, means out of 545 members of Lok Sabha, at least 273 or at least one third of them should vote. Simple language. I'm not going into the technical thing, how many members, etc. Okay, simple thing, special majority would be required to amend the constitution. Okay, now this directive principle is given under Article 45. They took up this Article 45 and translated into a fundamental right, which now says that every child should get. Earlier it was every child should be given. States should aspire to give 6 to 14 years child free education. Now that it is translated into fundamental rights, directive principle translated into fundamental right by a parliament which was elected for 5 years, Atal Bihari Vajpayee government, 1999 to 2003, right? Those years. So this government enacted a constitutional amendment act. When the government parliament, which is an ordinary lawmaking body, on one hand we had a parliament which is ordinary lawmaking body. Just a minute. Am I audible to everyone? There seems to be a technical glitch. Please bear with me for 1 or 2 minutes. After that, we'll bounce back again. I hope it is running fine. Thank you. Okay, I wasn't able to see the interface. Sorry for this technical glitch. It was there for 2-3 minutes. Anybody who lost the stream or could not watch it, please don't worry. You missed out on nothing. Okay, so I'm resuming here again. Okay, I could not see your comments. Sorry, guys. Now, see, the transient government for 5 years brought about a change to the constitution, but with a special majority. What is special majority? What is simple majority? We'll talk about this later on. Please bear with me for now. Special majority. Okay, now it says that every child of 6 to 14 years should get free education in the government schools or private schools. 6 to 14 years is a fundamental right. This is the journey how directive principles are converted into fundamental right eventually at the last stage. But there is a long history in between. What happened in between these two stages? A right getting converted into a fundamental right is not an easy journey. Okay, this Constitutional Amendment Act inserted another article in the Constitution. What article? Article 21 is right to life. It inserted Article 21A. Life without education is zero. It has no value today. That is why just below Article 21, another article was inserted in the Constitution by Constitutional Amendment Act. Got it? Whenever you want to change or bring about any change in the constitution, you have to bring about an amendment to the constitution. Amendment means change to the constitution. So Article 21A enabled the parliament, like it created that hanger which we saw in the yesterday's class. Okay, on which can hinge an act. Articles are required for giving legitimacy to the law, to the act, to the bill which will eventually be passed by the parliament. This much is clear to everybody based upon yesterday's class and today's class. Anyone who was not available yesterday, please watch the yesterday's class first, then you will be able to get the hang of it. Hanger is like a constitutional article on which you can hang the shirt of an act of the parliament. Done? Clear? A quick yes button you could press so that I can also get to know that you've gotten to know, you've understood. Otherwise, please type no, N-O. Only if you were present yesterday, you can type N-O. Quickly, fast. I don't see the number rising. Otherwise, type no. Feel free to type no. It's your class. We are a democracy and I'm a democratic teacher. Any provision for protection of constitution. Saif Ali Khan, Saif Khan, okay. I will come. Any provision to the protection? Okay, that's a good democracy here. Everybody, I wish all the voters in Delhi would have voted like you. Now, then we would have seen who wins, Kejriwal or BJP. All right, now we Now, this is just an enabling article. Now, we would do what? On this enabling article 21A, we will enact Right to Education Act 2009. Absorb this thing. I will tell you something interesting. Please absorb this. Understood? Article is just an enabling condition. On that article, we create an act by the parliament. It can be the same parliament, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, which could have converted that article. The articles are very basic in nature. Articles gives you the skeletal language, that right to education should be a fundamental right. That is all that is written in Article 21A. Just assume. Now the details would come when the shirt would be hanged on it, when the act would be enacted around that article. Act would be enacted. Article is just like hanger. Then you have to hang a shirt onto it. Okay. This shirt is like an act of the parliament. This shirt is like an act of the parliament. Okay. So this act of the parliament will get the details. It will completely cover the hanger, completely clothe the hanger. Like I'm wearing this jacket. Okay. So this jacket is like act. My body, the shoulders are like article of the constitution, article of my body, right? Similarly, constitutional articles are like parts of the constitution on which you can enact a law so that you can give full effect to the article. Article does not carry all the details like how many teachers will be there in the school, what will be the pupil to teacher ratio. Child to teacher ratio is 30:1. For every 30 students, there has to be a teacher. Now, imagine if every article contains all these details, like at what distance should a school be there within 10 kilometers radius of every village or every habitation. Our constitution is already this bulky. When it has only articles which mention the brief of what is the constitution's requirement. If all these things would have been mentioned in the constitution, our constitution maybe would have exceeded the scope of this room from floor to ceiling, right? That is why articles are just a skeletal framework. They are just a introduction to what is constitution's expectation. Fundamental rights are skeletal in nature. On all these fundamental rights, Parliament of 2007 to 12, 2012 to 14, 2012 to 17, 2014 to 19, 2019 to 24, all these articles will over a period of time would enact laws. Clear? Am I clear to everyone? As I said, there was a lot of happening between this thing. Okay, now I'm going to explain this part on the next slide. Why am I writing this? So that you do not lose your thought. Let us add another slide. See, first of all, in 1990s, 2000, we started Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. Atal Bihari Vajpayee government started Education for Everyone program. So this was the program that was launched. Okay. So it is not an act now. No act was passed by the parliament to start this Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. It was just a program which was initially launched in first 100 districts. Okay, so for those of you who were seeking polity terms, governance oriented terms, what is the meaning of pilot basis? Pilot run. Pilot run is when a new aircraft is launched by any company, they make only the pilot fly on it, so that if the plane crashes, only the pilot dies. Okay, just understand this thing also. So pilot basis means government was testing as to what initial teething problems. Teething problems is when you bite something. This is a governance term only. You can keep on jotting these terms down. Okay, teething is when you bite something, there's a fear of something falling down. For example, if you are eating a sandwich or something, while teething it, sometimes it so happens that it spills on the floor or it spills on your clothes. So whatever teething problems will be faced, initial problems will be faced, we can test that scheme in 100 districts, and then we will roll it out in all the 600 plus districts of the country, the entire country. Okay, this is how the schemes are launched. After the scheme runs for 1 or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending upon the complexity of the scheme. After that only the parliament would pass an act of parliament. When the scheme is converted into an act of parliament after 3 or 4 years. First year 100 districts, second year 250 districts, third year maybe 600 districts. Gradually, pilot run does not mean draft. Pilot run is selectively running the scheme in 100 smallest districts or largest districts or medium districts, so as to see how it happens. For example, if a new COVID vaccine is being rolled out, it will be given to only first 10,000 people, so as to see what are the symptoms the body gives. After the first 10,000 people do not react adversely to a vaccine, then it will be rolled out to everyone. Happens? Clear? Like the mother, first she tastes the food herself, and after it is hot enough, not too hot, not too cold, then it is fed to the baby. Done? 100 is not fixed number. It could be 25, 35, 40, 50, 150. As I said, depending upon the complexity of the scheme. Okay? My dear friends, no. If it is failed, if it somehow fails, then it is not continued. No. Imagine, yaar, listen to me. Listen to the things with a very, very open mind. You don't have to be nitpicky. We have 70 odd classes, 60 classes at least. Okay, I'm here with you. Don't be like 100 is fixed, etc. Don't be fixated on numbers or complexities. These are 3 or 4 general classes. After that, whatever we will say will be etched in stone, will be of permanent nature. Okay, please bear with me. Listen to it with a story type thing, as a story. Don't listen to it with a rigid thing. Now, if it is facing some technical glitches, then the secretaries we talked about yesterday, secretary sitting above the DM, way above the DM, okay, in the union ministry, they will understand, okay, in Patiala district this is happening, in Raebareli district this is happening. So that means this is the problem in the scheme. They will, because of their bureaucratic experience, they will fix up the scheme. Got it? The ones sitting above, the uncles, the veterans, they will fix the glitches, the problems that the scheme is facing. Right now a technical glitch happened, I escalated it to the team, they will fix it up, because they know on how many televisions or on how many computers this kind of a problem is happening. They will resolve it in a minute. So the scheme guidelines would be revised and it will be rolled again. Got it? Like Manrega was rolled out, Aadhaar was rolled out, many biometric scans were not happening. So the scheme, the machines that were brought, they were refined again. They were fine-tuned again. EVMs, if they face any glitches, report it to Election Commission, they will fix it up. This is how the governance happens. All right? Now, after it is tested for a sufficient period of time and the government thinks that if it is given in the form of a statutory guarantee. What do we mean by statutory guarantee? When Parliament enacts the act, it becomes a legal guarantee. Now it is legally guaranteed. Every citizen of India would get, between the age of 6 to 14 years, would get what? Right to education. Legal guarantee means if it is violated, it is a legal right now. Okay. If there is no fundamental right, it is a legal right now. For its violation, you can go to High Court, since it is a legal right. Now here I am writing Supreme Court. For the violation of legal right, you cannot go to the Supreme Court. Clear? No worries, feel free also. In research, we studied pilot study. So I'm just trying to correlate. No worries. You have got a free hand. You are a free citizen in my class. Okay. So legal right and constitutional right, you can go to the Supreme Court, High Court directly. Okay. But for violation of fundamental right alone, you can go to the Supreme Court. As of now, it is just an act of the parliament. Let's assume it does not have Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, does not have the constitutional article given in part 3. So that means since it does not have a separate article which is given in part 3, it is not a fundamental right. Am I right? When I say this, am I right to everyone? Am I clear to everybody? Only those articles which are given in Fundamental Rights chapter part 3 are called fundamental rights. If they are given outside, they are called constitutional rights. Scheme is only revised, acts will not get revised. Yes, Mahi, very right. Where are you hinting? I can understand you've understood my point. I will elaborate that point also. Everybody else, is it clear? Giving a thumbs up is not like going and casting your vote. Yes should come like this in my classes, or no should come, but something should come. Either thumbs up or thumbs down. You are all free. I'm not going to frown upon or look down upon anybody's no also. You are most welcome to say no. But keep typing, keep the chat box running. It feels good as a teacher. Otherwise, hair screen, hair screen, hair screen, hair screen, so many screens. We become inhumane then. Done? All right. Only 9 I can see. 14 now. Okay, it has to go up to 30, 40, the usual number. Otherwise, I need 16 no's. You guys are so miserly, no? Can we go to Supreme Court in violation of legal rights? No. No, Sushmita. Okay? No, you cannot. Yes, press the yes button. Don't have to type. Even right to property also got the legal right. Yes. No. Right to property has been diluted. Right to property earlier was a fundamental right. It has now been, yes. Now we reach the number 30. I am happy now. All right. So my amendment has been passed. Okay, 35. That's a good number. Okay. So keep doing this yourself so that we don't have to invest 30 seconds into it. Okay. So you got this idea: legal right, constitutional right, fundamental rights. All right. Legal guarantee comes once government is guaranteeing. See, on this side of the line, it is government, executive. If the government is guaranteeing something and it is not able to live up to it, what will happen? What will happen? You can go to the court. Court will say, how did you write in the act that you are able to give this as a guarantee? When you are not prepared, there will be litigation. There will be cases against the government. Okay. Volume is super fine. These things are not in my hand. Okay, Tanushri. I can only speak louder, but mics are not in my hand. Okay. So here, come back. Got it now? This is the government side. This is judiciary. If you are guaranteeing something, you should be able to live up to it. Otherwise, judiciary will call the secretary to the court. Why are you fooling people? You are wasting their money. You are wasting the time of judiciary. If you are committing something, you should live up to it. Okay. Now, see, after running it for 5 to 7 years as an act of the parliament, as an ordinary legal right, government might think of giving it as a constitutional guarantee. This is the general evolution I'm telling you. First a scheme, pilot run, then whole of India, then it is given into a legal right. When legal right journey of a statutory law of a right is smooth, no jerks, no pitfalls, then it is given in the form of a constitutional right, for the violation of which you can again go up to High Court. For the violation of which you can again reach up to the High Court, High Court, High Court. That's it. That's it. Mahadev, sir, your notes and PW notes are the same or not? See, they will eventually be the same, but I cannot go page wise. Sir, any guarantee of legal right? Yes, you can go to the High Court. Amit, I will narrate you cases also. Don't worry. We have a practical experience I will share of my brother, of my friends who are in the services, of the way I have seen my parents working. Okay. So, my parents were in the PCS. So, we'll talk about those things also. Cousins and friends who are in service, what experience they have had, I'll tell you in this class itself. Just hold on. Clear? After testing it as constitutional right for another 10 years, let's say 5 years, it is finally granted into fundamental right. Because why so much of time? Why so much of time in enacting a scheme into a fundamental right ultimately? Why not in 1 year? Why not 2 years? Why 3 or 4 or 5 years? Because, my dear friends, if it is given as a fundamental right, you can now directly go to the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land. Okay, see the condition of the government. Supreme Court, in Supreme Court, anything that Supreme Court says comes on the front page of Times of India, Hindustan Times, The Hindu, Indian Express. Constitutional right and legal right, the difference. I'll answer. Got it? You understood what is the import, what is the effect of a right constituted into or given the status of a fundamental right. You can go to the highest court of land. And Supreme Court will not tolerate any nonsense. That much though you know through the news affairs. That much everybody knows, right? So this is the effect of it. Now, what is the difference between constitutional right or legal right? She is very right, because her point is, for constitutional right and for legal right, for both these rights you can go to the High Court, and even for fundamental rights you can go to the High Court. Then what is the difference between these two? Fundamental rights, the difference is you can go even up to Supreme Court. This is the only difference. This is the only difference. No, so she is very right. See, constitutional right requires amendment to the constitution. This is our constitution. This is part 3 above, for the sake of example and explanation only. This is other parts. Okay, so these constitutional rights, they require amendment to the constitution. Okay, since they require amendment to the constitution, once the constitution is amended, what will happen? It will be very difficult to change. Now understand, colors will tell you something. Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee, earlier it was a scheme, okay, in 2008. Then it became an act in 2009. Okay, Manrega Act. That means Parliament guaranteed it. Nonetheless, it is just a statutory law. A mere bill was passed in the Parliament, simple bill, not a constitutional amendment bill. Simple bill enacted into a law, and it is called Manrega. Mahatma Gandhi MG Narega Act. MG Narega Act is there. Now BJP wants to dilute it. BJP is not happy. That is why orange color. BJP says that it is Gandhi that is coming. Everybody thinks like the Manrega, everybody basically thinks like Rahul Gandhi, the stupid, just for our class purposes. These things should not go out. Okay. Rahul Gandhi should, he thinks, many people think that he is the great grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. The poor people, those who are not that privileged like you and I to get this kind of an education. So many people, they think that Gandhi means Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and Congress. So that is why Mr. Modi wants to undo this, right? Mr. Modi says Manrega should be abolished. This year they did not allocate much money to Manrega. They are gradually killing it or diluting it, right? At least on this joke also, you could have given a yes or a smiley. He is stupid, you guys are so poor. I must say this. or you are sleeping? Mithali, constitutional rights are amended by the parliament of the day, but special majority. More number of members are required, more number of MPs are required for amending the constitution. For passing a legal right, a simple act, simple majority is required. Okay, the ones out of 273, which is on the side of the government, if on a given day 150 are available, okay, out of which 76, 50% plus 1, if they pass the bill, if they pass the bill becomes an act. Simple majority means this. What is special majority? Hang on, give me some time. We are in the very second class. See, if I will teach you everything in 2 classes, 3 classes, how would they be able to justify the fee that they have charged, right? And we will exceed the duration also. So that is why governments take 5 years to complete a road project. They take 25 years so that you vote for them again and again and again. Mr. Modi, when he came to the power first, he said, in 5 years, I will change the world. I'll change India. 10 years, then another 5 years. Then he says that I'm going to be here till 2034. I'm here for just 60 classes. Please bear me, no? Yes. See, I have respect for every political party. As a polity teacher, what happens? We have to, you guys can correlate with the ruling political party, right? Vidhi, what am I not replying, bache? Why not change the name? Okay, why not change the name? Then they will attract a lot of disrespect. Why are you changing Mahatma Gandhi's name? Isn't it? Then Congress would backfire that Mr. Modi wants his name on everything. That is why they don't change the name. Okay. They want to discredit the scheme. Changing the name would also reflect at the ground level. People will be told by SDM, VDO, Village Development Officer, the scheme and everything remains the same, only name has changed. That is why they don't change the name. Okay. So changing the name is like giving credit to Gandhi again. All right. I've replied to your comment now. Now see, you got my point? Manrega simple act was enacted. All right. So constitutional rights, if BJP, if Congress initially would have enacted it as a constitutional right, it would require special majority. BJP may or may not have special majority, but any party which is in power will definitely have simple majority. Simple majority, though everyone would have, no. That is why they are in the government. So that is why special majority, constitutional rights require special majority to be had by the government in order for it to be passed. Constitutional bill will require special majority to pass through the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and later on amendment to it will be very difficult. To make an act of the parliament legal rights, we need an article to know, sir. Okay, I'll tell you the articles later on. We are just having a general idea of the whole of the constitution. Clear now? Enough discussion we have had on rights. Okay. Now understand what are constitutional bodies, what are statutory bodies, what are extra legal bodies. Since we have understood fundamental right and this, see, constitutional bodies, another discussion we are having. I had thought that we will be able to complete the agenda of the class, but anyways, constitutional bodies, then there are statutory bodies, then there are extra legal bodies. Okay, constitutional bodies are those for which there is a body, for which there is a, you answer please, there is a separate article given in the constitution. Act has legal guarantee, but act does not have constitutional guarantee. An act has no legal guarantee until it becomes legal right. Act means legal only. See, these terms are used interchangeably. Act, statute, legal. Statutory, legal body. Act, legal. Legal, legal. Okay. A scheme has no legal guarantee until it becomes legal right. You can ask this. Scheme still has a legal guarantee. Okay. Scheme also has a legal guarantee, but for violation of the provisions of the scheme, you will go from pillar to post, you will go to SDM, DM, then you will go to district judiciary that my right is not enforced. There is a lot of harassment. Okay. But when it is a legal right, an act which delineates, which clearly tells that you are entitled to 20 kg ration per month, then you can directly go to the High Court at least. All right. Clear now? Act, statute, legal. So statutory bodies means bodies created by act of the parliament or legal bodies. This is bodies created by, my handwriting is not as good, bodies created by an act are called either statutory bodies or legal bodies. Bodies for which there is no act, no dedicated act, right? Dedicated also, no separate act of the parliament. I will now give examples. This much is clear to everyone? Now it's been 1.5 hours. 3 minutes to doubts, please. 1:32 it is. For next 3 minutes, anybody having any doubt, within these 3 minutes I will answer. Please, it's a humble request. If you only think that this juncture, this point in time is the right time to ask the doubt related to the topic, then only please ask. Okay. So otherwise we won't be able to complete the agenda of the class. Sir, we can't go to High Court for violation of a scheme. Yes, if you don't have a good lawyer. See, my answer is so dynamic. In plain language, yes, you can't go to the court, High Court, for violation of the provisions of a scheme ordinarily. Okay. Sir, please realize this once. Mahadev ji, what? Make us revise this once or what? Difference between act, bill, legal right. Ritik Raj, even though I can sense that you were not there in the yesterday's class, still I will help you out. You were not there in the class, first accept the fact that you were not there. Can Supreme Court change fundamental right? Yes, Supreme Court can amplify. What do we mean by amplify? I wish I had some volume button. Amplification means ramping it up, taking it one level above. Okay, that is called as reading up. Soumya, I'm seeing you after a long time, your name and all. Ritik, please accept that you were not there in the yesterday's class. Okay, this slide, I will make you revise. Legal acts borrow their authority from the Constitution. Everything that is happening in the country, it borrows its authority, it borrows the legal sanctity, approval from the Constitution. Okay, everything is falling from Constitution. Constitution is like the glacier from which the water is melting. Simple. Every law is flowing because of the Constitution only. Schemes don't require majority then. No, schemes are passed as a separate allocation in budget. Understood now? I've taken it one level above. Yes, sir, I was not. Please be regular, my dear friend. Bill, until it is passed in the parliament, okay, this is parliament. Once it passes through the parliament, gets the signature of the president, P encircled means either president or parliament. PR means president only. Okay. Once the bill as drafted by the ministry passes the parliament, it becomes an act. Okay, Soumya, fine. Maybe I spotted your name afterwards. All right. Sir, please, legal right is not a constitutional right. Don't go by the meaning. I understand your confusion. Ravi, it does not mean legal right is not a constitutional right. Please do not interpret it as it is an unconstitutional right. This is where your confusion lies. Constitutional right, I would rather put it this way. Constitutional right is that right for which there is an article somewhere in the Constitution. That's it. Legal rights are also legal. They have legal approval, but they are not same in the status as constitutional rights. Their amendment, they are vulnerable to the amendment by the parliament of the day. For example, Mr. Modi can amend, Mr. Modi's government having majority in the parliament can amend the Manrega Act because it is a legal right. It is not a constitutional right. They can amend a constitutional right with a higher majority called special majority. Sushmita, I have just answered your doubt. Just now, Ravi Shankar's doubt is the same as yours. Legal right and constitutional right, the only difference is for the passage of a legal right or for its amendment, simple majority of the parliament is required. But for the passage or amendment of constitutional right, a higher majority is required called constitutional majority. Okay? Please accept these are facts. Abhi nahi, not now, Dinesh. So as I said, if I will explain everything in whole one class, you will start seeking refund the next day. On a lighter note, right? You'll then say, "Sir, everything is done. I don't want to study," right? So that is why Ramayana unfolds gradually so that they can have hundreds of serials on it. Then only you will watch the advertisements coming back here. Now, sir, right to privacy is a legal right or not? RTP, you are talking about that or right to property? Quickly type property or privacy. Quickly, fast. Privacy or property? What do you please signify? Don't use short forms in my class. They eat up time. Komal, please. Can you explain the basic? Kon, who are you? Damang, my dear friend, basic structure of constitution will be explained a little later. As I said just now, we are running a series and we have to fulfill 60 hours. That is the harsh reality of UPSC. Teaching, coaching, studying, everything. Property. Right to property, now at this stage, I'm not going to answer. Right to property is a constitutional and legal right, just to satisfy your hunger for knowledge. Enough, Komal? Now let's proceed further. Okay, so these constitutional bodies are like 280. Finance Commission 324. Examples here, Election Commission of India is a constitutional body. Why? Because for it, there is a separate article mentioned in it. When there is a separate article mentioned for a body in the constitution, that becomes a constitutional body. Finance Commission, Election Commission of India, UPSC, Union Public Service Commission. Where are the legal rights defined? All across the constitution, Sonam. All over. They are mentioned at various places in the constitution. Okay. They are peppered like on the base of the pizza. Now don't go and leave the class. Like on pizza, you see olives. They are all over the pizza. But the cheese is there in the center part. Cheese is the fundamental rights. Peppering and all, seasoning, it is all across the pizza, right? But cheese is there in the, I mean, if there it is a paneer pizza, you'll get paneer only in the center of the pizza. Just an example. Don't say that, no, sir, in my pizza it was on the other side also. Okay. So just to explain it to you. Satyavrat, please let's be in limits. Now coming back. Got it? Statutory bodies are bodies for which there may not be or there may be a separate article, but these bodies have an act created for their purpose. For example, RTI Act. It creates Central Information Commission. For example, Lokpal. Lokpal Act is there. So, constitutional bodies for which there is a separate article, Mahadev. Okay. Statutory bodies for which there is a separate dedicated act for that body. That body is called statutory body or legal body. Any body, any institution in the country's governance for which there is no dedicated article or act is called extra legal body. Yes, Sonam, very rightly she has put it. For everyone, after 5 seconds, internalize this. Done? Now see. In a Venn diagram, the purpose of the Venn diagram is legal rights. Can we say that all the fundamental rights are legal rights, but reverse is not true? Can I write this statement that both constitutional right and fundamental rights are legal rights, but reverse is not true? Yes, this is the crux of it. Since legal rights are in the outer circle includes the circle 2 and circle 3. This is circle 1. Done? Okay, so this is the nutshell. Clear? Let's move further now. See, statutory bodies have a dedicated act for their creation. That act contains all the powers. That dedicated act carries all the powers, all the conditions of service of that body. Okay. Now we are talking about autonomous bodies. They could be of 3 types. I'll take that side so that you can see the whole of it. This circular diagram is now converted into a flow chart for your convenience. How many of you are finding the polity to be interesting now? Yes, honey, I'm going to explain. Honey, 324 stands for Election Commission of India. 280 stands for Finance Commission. Extra legal does not mean that they are illegal, right? Extra legal means simply they do not have any article or act related to them. Yes, number yes, I mean, click on the yes button for finding polity interesting thing. Okay. Yes, I mean, extra legal does not mean that they are illegal like smack or cocaine. Okay. Your voting pattern seems to be full of dilemma. I've got only two hearts. My heart is bleeding. 23 now. Okay. No, I've got two no's, three hearts and two no's. Okay. 37 yes. 40 yes. Okay. So these two, is it because of the reason that you are not understanding? Please type not understanding or NU. NU. Okay. Now let's move further. See, constitutional bodies, their terms and conditions. Okay. Terms, conditions, everything is mentioned in the constitution. All right. They are autonomous bodies, but their terms and conditions are all mentioned in the constitution. NU for the reason that you are not understanding. I'll try to address your doubts. Okay, terms and conditions, their expenditure is charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. Though this is a bit technical, but understand that they can use whatever money they require. If today UPSC says that that number would be of some other question, maybe, okay. Anyways, okay. So, Soumya, are you understanding things? She's saying that that number may not be of your polity interesting or not interesting. Soumya, are you able to understand things? Okay, so expenditure means that they can withdraw any amount of money that they want, simply in simple language for this class. Okay, that means if today UPSC decides, or let's say election commission, if election commission decides today that it wants to buy all the new EVMs, okay, it wants to replace all the existing EVMs, okay, done. There will be no question on it to an extent. If UPSC says that from next time onwards, from 2026 onwards, the exam will be held on computer systems, government cannot stop it. Autonomy. Got it? Constitutional bodies, their terms and conditions of office, when will they retire, how much salary will they get, what type of bungalow will they get car, etc. or not, all these things are given in the constitution, and hence very difficult to change. Yes, Prachi, go on. Charged on constitution. Pujita, you can hold this for later stage. Understand in layman's language, they can use, they can request the government to sanction crores of rupees for their functioning. Even the peon's salary in UPSC cannot be stopped by the government. Government can cut down on the budget of Manrega, but not the constitutional bodies. This is the simple meaning of it. Supreme Court interfere? Where? If these bodies are going corrupt, why would the Supreme Court not interfere? Okay, to mend them, to make them mend their ways. All right. Difference between act and article. Srishti, bacha, you were to there in the yesterday's class. I remember the names. Or maybe Srishti is very common a name. Today we have another Srishti. No, your question tells me that you were not there. And you were not there even in today's class. Please be honest. As you mentioned that Supreme Court can change fundamental rights, so is the act, can the act be revised in fundamental right or added the new one? Supreme Court can only amplify. Amplify means only increasing the effect of the act, meaning of the act. Okay, Supreme Court cannot reduce it. Supreme Court does not have that kind of legislative power. Okay, ministries are not autonomous bodies. Okay, ministries are not autonomous bodies. Can we, do we need an article for every act, sir? Yes, Kirti. See, under one article, let's say just one article, there can be multiple acts. Depends upon what type of an article is it. I'm not saying article number 1. This is under any article. There could be multiple acts. Depends upon what article it is. For example, to safeguard the environment, article given in the fundamental directive principles. Environment Protection Act, Wildlife Protection Act, Air Control and Pollution Act, Water Control and Water Conservation Act, or Water Control and Pollution Act. So many acts under one article. But sir, you said for constitutional rights we can't go to the Supreme Court. But say, I'm saying, okay, Srishti, there was a network issue. What a good excuse. See, I've been teaching for 7 years. I was in the age which was called as Maro. Now in the age of Geo, if you say this, still I have to accept this as a teacher. Okay. Maro means when network used to be that of BSNL. Goal, round, right? Now we are in the age of Geo, GB network, GB speeds. My speed is 150 GB, 100 GB. And you still say that there was a network issue. Still, no worries. I will explain again. Okay. Got it now? But you said CR, we can't go to the Supreme Court. See, I will tell you, this all is theory. If you have a good lawyer, you can go to Supreme Court even for a non-legal right also. Doubts later on. Now let me complete this. Okay. Statutory bodies for which there is an act of the parliament. These are not rights. We are talking about bodies or institutions. Okay. For example, RBI, Reserve Bank of India, SEBI, CBI. Okay. These are statutory bodies for which there is an act. RBI Act 1934, under which RBI was created. Okay. SEBI Act 1999, 1998. Okay. Then CBI, for CBI, there is a Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. That act contains all the conditions of CBI, all the powers. For constitutional bodies, article creates article constitutional body. Difference is article will carry the age of the members, qualification, retirement age. They are given in the constitution. For statutory bodies, they are given in the act. All these conditions are given in the act. Same conditions given in the act. Okay. Retirement age, or on what grounds can they be removed, removal, so that these autonomous bodies, these constitutional bodies, they act free from the pressure of the government. Simple. So that they can act freely. There is no pressure. UPSC, why there is no cheating or no scam in UPSC? UPSC, you are appearing for this? Come on. Why? Because it is a constitutional body. Okay. There can be no scam. Until recently, RBI, statutory body, its governor's name was Shakti Kanta Das. Shall I expand it in a funny way? Shakti, Mr. Shakti Kanta Das, a retired finance secretary of the government of India, before his appointment to the autonomous body RBI, was working under Nirmala Sitharaman. So Shakti is a very good Das. Got my point? Shakti served as a very good Das of the deity Shakti, Durga Shakti, Nirmala Shakti. Got it? So that is how these statutory bodies are manipulated by the government to sometimes. If you are able to understand my example, his name justifies how subservient, how submissive was he to the finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. He was deriving all his Shakti by being a very good Das. Got it? Shakti Kanta Das. So, another regulator is TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. In Congress era, this scam happened in TRAI. try and try again. You will sometime, someday get the success in regulating telecom companies. You'll definitely get success, but not now. Your name is try, you keep on trying. Right? That is the name of the body. What is my fault in this? If you are reading newspaper, 2G scam happened because of that only. Yes. Was this body behind the 2G scam? Yes. Fasai. If you are, how many of you understand Hindi? Quickly type H. H for Hindi. Some amount of Hindi. I'll have to apologize to the team since this is a pure English medium class, but we are a Hindi country run by a Hindi party, BJP, right? Okay, I'm more interested in knowing how many of you do not understand Hindi. No Hindi, type NH. That is more important. NH, quickly NH for non-Hindi medium background. See, Fasai to kisne hai Fasai? Its name is Food Safety Standards Authority of India. Getting my point? NH, please. Anyone who does not, and my friends from northeastern India. No, that is not a constitutional body, okay? NH, please, non-Hindi medium backgrounds. These examples will be, okay, Kirti, Fasai means somebody has been trapped. In Hindi, Fasai means somebody who's been trapped. Is this Fasai, the Food Safety Standards Authority of India, has it been trapped by somebody to justify its name? You know? So it is basically saying that Fasai, a female, has been fascied by somebody, has been trapped by some male sitting above. Why? Because the food industry, we see a lot of salt content is going. Chips, which are having world's highest level of salt content, oil content in India. Cold drinks, highest level of sugar content. And India is labeled as the diabetes capital. Why is this? Where is it stuck? Fasai means body which is stuck somewhere in literal sense. Okay. So where is this Fasai? कहाँ फंसी है ये फसाई जो काम नहीं कर पाई? Got my point? It is turning a blind eye to extra sugar content in the cold drinks, despite being a statutory autonomous body. So the point is, these statutory bodies, since they are created by the act of the parliament, these acts are changed by the parliament as per its will. SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, another statutory body which is non-constitutional. Again, it is stuck. Scam is happening by the chairperson of Scam is happening right by the chairperson of SEBI, Madhavi Bhuj. Okay, Madhavi Bhuj, she is doing the scam. She is gelling up with Adani Group, right? And this is in English now. Sahir, okay, Ghuman. Are you Punjabi by any nature? What my point? So these autonomous bodies, which are created by an act of the parliament, are sometimes at the mercy of the government, leader of the government or government. Okay, constitutional bodies are relatively autonomous, independent in their functioning. Sahir, is it clear? These were some funny examples, but you can correlate. Now you will remember that statutory bodies are relatively less independent. These are more independent, less independent. Done? Let's talk about non or extra constitutional bodies. Okay, extra constitutional. Okay, Ranveer, I am a Punjabi too. Okay, so this is there. We are a diverse country. Me being a polity teacher needs some exception. Otherwise, the team would say that, sir, you are talking about Hindi, Punjabi, English, etc. Please bear with me. Sometimes it will happen. I will get to know the better of you. You will get to know the better of me. Okay. So understood now. Extra legal bodies are those bodies. Please let's complete this. Okay. Here, extra legal bodies are those bodies which are created by a notification of the government. Like UPSC came up with the notification by a mere executive or by a mere government notification. Executive and government are the same. By a mere executive notification, these bodies are created. Sahir, is it clear? Are you with me? Yes, jokes can be accepted in any language, okay? So, got it? Article 77 is the article under which all these extra legal bodies are created. Niti Aayog is the example of it. Okay? Niti Aayog is an example of extra legal bodies. Sankhyayan, NTA means? Niti Aayog's short form, are you telling? NTA means what? I have to jump over the lights kept in front of me so as to grab something, glass of water or something. So don't think I am doing any bungee jumping or something, okay? So, clear? Yes, extra legal bodies are those bodies which are created by a mere notification of the government. Okay, so the best example is, okay, National Testing Authority. Yes, that's good. NTA. I could not correlate. Sorry about that. Okay, extra legal bodies are those bodies which do not require an act of the parliament or a separate article. Okay, to your surprise, all the ministries are created under Article 77 of the Constitution. Some girl was asking, sir, extra legal body, something, some question was there. Maybe it was Soumya or somebody. Anything that happens in the sky and above India, anything that is happening in India has to be constitutionally approved. Otherwise, it will be declared illegal. So, illegality is not allowed. We are a country run by constitution. Many things are happening, illegal mining, etc. For that, you can go to Chokidar. You know where he lives. You can request him, sir, this is happening. Who is Chokidar? You know that. I am just a teacher. If you want answers to those things, sir, this is happening illegal mining is happening, make me the prime minister for one day. Till the time I'm not the prime minister, I'm the teacher only. Getting it? I'm just going to teach you the theoretical aspect. Practically, you get selected, fight the system for the better. Make sense? So, as a teacher, I have to tell you, in constitution, everything is Amrit. Everything is as pure as divine. Democracy at work, we'll study in the later classes. Constitution is what we are studying as of now. Democracy at work, we'll study later. Right? So, all the ministries, National Testing Authority, or Niti Aayog type bodies for which there is neither an article of the constitution or dedicated article, dedicated exclusive article. Next Ojha in BJP. No, I don't have. He is a bloody scammer. Don't compare him to me. You can use abusive language for me. Don't compare me to Ojha. No, that's bad. That's the worst compliment you could give to me. No. So, that is the best joke of the class, though. Coming back, got my point? See, these extra legal bodies, Kaveri Water Management Committee, yes, but no, there is a Kaveri Water Management body, Interstate Water Disputes Act is there. But yes, you can say that it is an extra legal body since there is no dedicated act for it, right? Tanish, very smart, huh? Got it? You can know, you keep a tab on everything that is happening outside of these coaching industries and all. Ojha is a big joker. Now, coming back here. These extra legal bodies are created under Article 77. Article 77 says, for the convenience of the government of India's business. Please listen now, let's be serious. No more ojas and khojas. So, let me also focus. For these, Article 77 says, for the convenience of administrative, there is only one ojha who's who's so very blemished. Okay. Gap, please give me the full form. I'm getting confused between the two. Okay. Now, blemished means badnaam in Hindi. Now, Article 77, extra legal bodies. Those extra legal bodies, Article 77 says, for the convenient transaction of, for the convenience of government of India's business, President can create any institution or body. Okay? Clear? Am I clear now? Guys, please focus, please focus. He's made his career by fooling people. We have to make our career. Now, Article 77, for the administrative convenience, President of India can promulgate, can issue any notification or can make any rules for the convenient transaction of Government of India's business. Done? Simple? Clear is it to everyone? All right. So this is the meaning of Article 77. Under this, ministries are created. Under this, authorities are created. As he said, National Testing Authority. Okay. Under this, various other bodies can be created. Okay. Niti Aayog, NITI, AAYOG. Done. Now see, I'll give you a very good example. UIDAI until 2016. It was created in 2010 by the Manmohan Singh government. Very good example. It was created for the first time as an extra legal body, 2010. Then in 2016, Modi government passed UIDAI Act, which converted UIDAI into a statutory body. Having an act will make you a legal body, will make the body a legal body, a statutory body. Kirti, is it clear? Where are you? Unique Identification Development Authority of India. Sorry, my bad, Chandan. Unique Identification Development Authority of India. Okay, so this is the body which collects your Aadhaar biometric data, which is maintaining the repository of data, Aadhaar data. Okay. Done. Until 2016, when this body was made a legal body, my example in class used to be, how can an extra legal body which does not have a dedicated act, UIDI is a statutory and legal and or legal. As I said in the class, Bachche Ranveer, that statutory and legal means the same thing. Okay? Because any body, any institution which has a dedicated act becomes a statutory body or a legal body. Done? Clear? So, I used to teach before 2016. My example would be, how can a body which is itself not having any legal existence by a separate act, how is it collecting the biometric, the most private data of all the citizens of country, despite itself being a body which does not have any legal sanction? Clear? See the beauty of the example. It collected the data of 90 crore Indians before it was given the legal status itself. Unique Identification Development Authority of India. It can profile the data. You understand what is the meaning of profiling of data? Profiling of data means you can categorize data according to religion. according to income level, and they can provide it to the government that, see, here are Muslims, here are Hindus, here are Buddhists. So announce this scheme in this Muslim area. Okay, UIDAI data is such a gem for any political party to win the elections. It is in the possession of a statutory body which dances on the tunes of the government. Government is playing the bugle and their chairperson etc. will dance, because their terms and conditions can be diluted by the government of the day, by the parliament of the day. Whichever political party is in the parliament can amend the charter, can amend the statute, the law, the act which has constituted this body. Okay, now what is the difference between extra legal? Are extra legal bodies safe? No. For the act created bodies, for the statutory bodies, you at least have to go to the parliament. Okay, you at least have to go to the parliament of the day, get the bill passed. Bill will be passed and it will be converted into act. Who was that guy who came late? S. His name was from S. Samir it was. Now you understood. I explained earlier also. I recollect now. Okay. So bill, once it is passed, will amend the act. Act might change the terms of office, the appointment, the salary. Okay. So in the act, these things are mentioned, whether the same person could be appointed as the chairperson again. Government might give the greed to the person who is the chairperson that we will renew your term by extra 5 years if you give us all the data. So easy is this to amend the act. Then what about extra legal bodies? Till it was an extra legal body, government need not even enact an act. Government will just issue a notification saying that the term of office of existing chairperson is being renewed by another 5 years, 5 years plus. That person will remain in UIDAI for another 5 years. This chairperson will be happy because by a mere notification, nobody is going to challenge it. It can be challenged in the court, but these type of notifications are sometimes ignored. But when you bring about a bill, the contours, the provisions of the bill, they find a mention in the newspaper. They attract media attention. Got it? Since they are published in the media, the provisions of the bill will be scrutinized by commentators, opposition parties. But these notifications, they are within the government only, so they get ignored. Right? It's just like a contact. It's just like a formality. Contract, you are trying to say. Changing the notification is very easy because every day around hundreds of notifications are issued. Go and check PIB. XYZ person is appointed as the chief of CISF, Central Industrial Security Force. Second, government notifies the extension of service, extension of tenure for Deputy DIG CISF. Okay, generally accepted accounting principles. My dear Prashant, these are you are talking about accounts. Generally accepted accounting principles are internationally created. Okay, if you talk about the related body ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, that is also a statutory body. Okay, created by an act of the parliament. Got it? Am I clear? NGT Act, National Green Tribunal. There is an NGT Act 2010. No. Today's class is going to end. I also have to have my dinner. Okay. So we'll stop it here. I'll take your leave, everybody. Okay. Ending the class. I hope anybody is not having any doubt. Sir, should we expect that classes are likely to get extended beyond the given time? To an extent, yes, because your doubts are to be entertained, right? Everybody should go to sleep very without any doubt. ISRO, etc. Have they've got an act, okay? Baba Atomic Research Center, etc. BARC, they have an act, okay? So take your leave. We'll try to conclude the classes by 8. Since these are new classes, you are brimming with your enthusiasm, have to satiate your thirst for knowledge. Even as I myself am feeling thirsty for water. When will we get DPP questions? Tanya, can you put a request? I'll escalate it from my side to the team that students are asking for DPP questions. Do check your dashboard once and do also put up a comment from your side on the desktop, on the dashboard, help desk. Okay. What about the notes? I was supposed to dictate them today, but class went on. Anyways, we'll catch up tomorrow. Okay. Sir, class is going to end at 8 every day. Formal time is 8, but we stretch it by another 15-20 minutes. That is the usual practice. We'll conclude it by, sometimes it will be sometimes 1 hour 45 minutes also, but we'll stick to the time limit 2 hours. Okay. Thank you, Prachi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Eureka. It's your first comment for the day, it seems. I hope you were able to catch up with the Hindi jokes wherever they were in between. DPP already uploaded for the previous class. Okay, you are talking about detailed PPT. All right. You can find out the PPT on my Telegram channel also. These notes and annotations on Telegram channel Jatin Verma Sir. You have to search it with the name Jatin Verma Sir, PW only IAS. Okay. I don't like suffixing this sir and all. We'll be teaching you abolition of titles, Article 17. But the way they've created the channel, you have to search accordingly in order to not struggle for the channel. Okay. Those of you who are watching it on YouTube, they will automatically be able to find it on YouTube in the description box. Thank you. Bye bye. It was a pleasure teaching all of you. Jai Hind, guys. Thank you. Good night. This thumbs up is for the backend team to end the session, if at all they are watching it. Thank you, Shushmita. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Ranveer. Thank you, Shaduma. Everybody. Thank you, guys. End kar do session.